This year's postseason was as entertaining as we've seen in recent years, with so many memorable finishes, huge performances, and dramatic results. Along the way, we saw a few teams prove that they're pretty close to reaching that top tier of contention, and one move could put them over the edge. So that's exactly what Bleacher Report addressed in a recent article. In this article, they proposed one trade for every team that got eliminated from the playoffs that they believe could put them over that edge. So I went through and picked out some of the most intriguing deals from it, and as always, we'll be reviewing whether or not the trades make sense, why or why not the teams involved would want to do it, and who would benefit the most from it if it were to happen. Before we start though, it turns out a good amount of you watching right now aren't even subscribed to the channel, so if you enjoy the content, consider hitting the subscribe button, as not only does it help out a ton, but it also very much appreciated. Now with that being said, let's begin. The first proposal from the article we'll be taking a look at is between the Detroit Pistons and the Milwaukee Bucks, where the Pistons receive Giannis Antetokounmpo in exchange for Tobias Harris, Jaden Ivey, Ausar Thompson, Jalen Duren, and 4 future first-round picks. Giannis Antetokounmpo's status with the Bucks and what he decides to do about his future with the franchise is going to be the biggest story this offseason by a mile. The whole basketball world is ready for Giannis to admit he's ready for his next chapter due to the Bucks being in an unfixable hole, and if or when that happens, teams will be lining up out the door to submit their trade offers for him. The Pistons are a young, hungry team on the rise who finally made it back to the playoffs for the first time in 6 years this year, and with Cade Cunningham on a superstar trajectory, there's good reason for this team to explore pairing him with one of the best big men in the entire league. Cade had the 3rd highest usage rate in the NBA this season, mostly because the Pistons struggled to function offensively without his elite creation skills, and ironically, Giannis was one of the 2 players that ranked ahead of him in that metric, so being able to play together would alleviate each other's burdens tremendously. Giannis thrives alongside playmaking ball handlers and does so many things off the ball that would make Cade's life easier, like setting hard screens, running in transition, and cutting, and forcing defenses to throw multiple bodies at Giannis would make Cade's life as a scorer immeasurably easier too. So in terms of motivation behind this deal, it's very obvious why they would want to do it. With the Bucks then shifting towards a rebuild, players like Jaden Ivey, Ausar Thompson, and Jalen Duren are all talented young players that would provide a strong starting point for that shift, and the 4 first-round picks are exactly what a superstar trade offer needs to be taken seriously. So obviously, Giannis would have to ask out first before anything like this can happen, but if he does, then this is one of the most competitive hypothetical offers I've seen for one of the best players in the game. The next proposal from the article is between the Miami Heat and the Memphis Grizzlies, where the Heat receive Ja Morant in exchange for Andrew Wiggins, Nikola Jovic, Jaime Jaquez, Pelle Larsson, a future first-round pick, and a future first-round pick swap. The Heat have been looking for a solution to their point guard position for a while, and with Terry Rozier falling off hard since his arrival in Miami, they are still in pursuit for that answer. This one's very interesting because there has been some underlying tension between Ja Morant and the Grizzlies, and whether or not that actually results in a breakup is still yet to be seen. The Grizzlies fired head coach Taylor Jenkins last year, with the underlying cause being that the players, especially Morant himself, were not fans of his system. Morant had a down year this season compared to what we've grown used to seeing from him in years prior, and admittedly, after Jenkins got fired, we started to see Morant play more aggressively, returning to form. So I still think that the relationship is salvageable, and wouldn't bet on a trade like this coming about this offseason, but it's still something to monitor long term. They're going to let new head coach Tuomas Lisalo get a chance to implement his system with the core pieces still intact, and see how they perform before any major changes are made, but if things continue sinking, then obviously the trade rumors are going to heat up. Even with that being the case though, I don't think this is nearly a good enough offer to land someone like Morant's stature anyway. Andrew Wiggins' best days are behind him, Jaime Jaquez isn't nearly as intriguing of a young talent as he was as a rookie after struggling mightily in year 2, and neither Jovic or Larsson are moving the needle. One single first-round pick and a pick swap does not match up to modern day star player trade offers either, so even though I like the fit of Morant in Miami, they need to come with a more serious offer if they want to actually make it happen. The next proposal from the article is between the Orlando Magic and the Atlanta Hawks, where the Magic receive Trae Young in exchange for Jalen Suggs, Anthony Black, Jet Howard, and a top 10 protected 2027 first-round pick. This is the offseason where the Hawks are going to have to make their decision about whether Trae Young is going to continue being the player that they build around in the future or not. He only has 1 year left on his current contract, plus a player option for 2027, but it seems likely that Trae would opt out of that player option in order to sign a larger contract extension, meaning Trae's value on the trade market is going to steadily decline the longer that the Hawks hold on to him if they don't see him as their long-term guy anymore. If they do, then obviously this trade has no chance, because the Hawks would likely offer him the 4-year, $228 million contract extension that he's eligible for this summer. But if they don't offer him that contract, then things get very interesting. The Magic desperately need a star-caliber playmaker at the point guard position to help orchestrate their pitiful offense more functionally, and Trae Young has proven he can single-handedly run an offense at an above-average level, so imagining what he could do to alleviate the lives of Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner is incredibly tantalizing. As long as Jalen Suggs returns to form after his injury, he's one of the best perimeter defenders in the game and would fit the lockdown defensive mold that the Hawks have been building in their young core. Anthony Black is a Swiss Army knife type of young talent that can be versatile on both ends, but the one thing that the Magic need to cough up more of is draft capital here. Even with Trae on an expiring contract, everyone knows this type of trade would only go down with the Magic knowing that they're signing Trae to an extension, and stars don't get traded for just one single protected pick anymore. So if they're willing to give up another pick or two, this is reasonable, but if not, then they'll need to find their point guard elsewhere. And finally, the last proposal from the article we'll be looking at is between the Houston Rockets and the Milwaukee Bucks, where the Rockets receive Giannis Antetokounmpo in exchange for Fred VanVleet, Amen Thompson, 3 first-round picks, and a pick swap. The Rockets are easily one of the teams closest to getting over the hump and joining the tier of legitimate contenders, but they are missing a true #1 scoring option that can take over a game and make life easier on offense for everyone else. Giannis Antetokounmpo is a multiple-time MVP winner and an NBA champion, who brings the exact skill set and pedigree that would make this team scary for years to come. For Rockets fans, I understand it would be difficult to have to give up Amen Thompson in order to make it happen, because Thompson is one of the most athletic players we've seen in quite some time. His work on the defensive end in year 2 is already as good as it gets, and the raw potential he has on the offensive end is up there with the best prospects in the league right now. But if you want to land someone of Giannis' stature, you have to give up real value to make it happen, and in this case, Giannis is absolutely worth it. For the Bucks, being able to start the rebuild with someone like Amen Thompson is a home run, and all of the draft picks included in this offer are icing on the cake. So to me, this is something that I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever to see come into fruition, because it represents exactly what both teams need right now. The Rockets can't hesitate to build on all of the momentum that they've built, because in the NBA, things can change so fast, and you never know when your next opportunity will come, and the sooner the Bucks hit the reset button, the better. So of all of the teams that will want to trade for Giannis, the Rockets definitely have one of the most competitive offers to do it. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what you think about these proposed trades. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.